Good morning. Today I am going to discuss Swinburne test of DC motors. The main objective of this Swinburne test during this video lesson is how to conduct Swinburne test, what are the advantages and disadvantages. And coming to the Swinburne test, we already know that tests will be conducted on DC motors are two types. One is direct test, another one is indirect test. This Swinburne test will comes under indirect method, also called no load test. Means this test will be conducted at no load. We will not put any load on the motor and we will find the losses during this Swinburne test. This method is an indirect method of testing a DC machine. Swinburne test is the mostly commonly used and simplest method of testing of shunt and compound wound DC machines, which have constant flux. In this test, the efficiency of the machine at any load is predetermined. We can run the machine as motor or as generator. In this method of testing, no load losses are measured separately and we can determine the efficiency. Efficiency at any desired load can be predetermined in advance. This test is applicable to those machines in which flux is practically constant, that is shunt motors and compound wound motors. The circuit connection for Swinburne test is shown in figure. First, the speed of the machine is adjusted to the rated speed with the help of shunt regulator or as shown in the figure. Then coming to the calculation of efficiency, let I naught is the no load current. Please, this is I naught is the no load current. It can be measured by the ammeter A1. ISH is a shunt field current. It can be measured by ammeter A2. Then the no load armature current. IA naught is equal to I naught minus ISH. Also, let V is the supply voltage. Therefore, no load power input is equal to V multiplied with this no load current. And the power units are in watts. In Swinburne's test, No load power input is only required to supply the losses. The losses occurs in machines mainly are iron losses in the core, friction and windage losses, and armature copper losses. Since the no load mechanical output of the machine is zero, in Swinburne's test, the no load input power is only used to supply the losses. The value of armature copper losses are generally I square R. For armature copper loss, IA I naught minus ISH whole square into RA. Here RA is the armature resistance. Now, to get the constant losses, we have to subtract the armature copper losses from the no load power input. Then constant losses WC is equal to no load input power V I naught minus IA naught square RA. After calculating the no load constant losses, now we can determine the efficiency at any load. Let capital I is the load current at which we have to calculate the efficiency of the machine. Then armature current IA is equal to I minus ISH when the machine is acting as a motor, or IA is equal to I plus ISH when the machine is acting as generator. Now I will explain how to calculate of efficiency when the machine is motoring on load. Then the power input is equal to V into I naught at no load time. When at loaded time, the power input is equal to V into I. Then copper losses at that load is given as I square R, where I is equal to acting as a motor, I minus ISH we will use square times multiplied with the armature resistance. Then the constant losses is equal to V I naught minus no load copper losses, armature copper losses. Then the total losses is equal to at load time. Total losses at load time is equal to constant losses plus copper losses at particular load. This is total loss. Then after knowing the total losses, then efficiency of the motor as per the definition, output power divided by input power. For motor, we know only the input parameters. To get the output parameters, output is equal to input minus losses. Input is equal to VI, and we will calculate total losses. We'll subtract the total losses from the input. We will get output, which is divided by the input. Then that is equal to efficiency of the motor. Now I will explain how to calculate the efficiency when the machine is acting as a generator. Then the power input is equal to VI. Then the armature copper losses is equal to, when it is acting generator, this is the armature current. Then input copper losses is equal to I square Ra. Then constant losses, whether it is a motor or generator, we will subtract these losses. We will get constant losses. Then total losses, again addition of constant losses plus copper losses at particular load. Then efficiency of the generator. Generator output is electrical quantities. Then output parameters are available like 5 HP, 3 HP, and how much current is supplying. Then input is equal to output plus losses. Like this, we will calculate the efficiency of the generator. The machine is run as a motor on no load at its rated voltage. The speed is adjusted to the rated speed with the help of shunt regulator as shown in this figure. In continuation of the previous slide, the no load current I0 is measured by the ammeter A1 and shunt field current ISH is measured by ammeter A2. The no load armature current is equal to I0 minus ISH, which is equal to IA0, which is flowing through this armature conductors. Let supply voltage is equal to V, no load current is equal to I0, no load input power is equal to product of these two, which is V into I0. Shunt field current is equal to ISH, then power input to armature is V into I0 minus ISH, then V into IA not. Then power input to the shunt is V into ISH. No load power input to the armature supplies the following, as I said just now: iron losses in the core, friction and windage losses, and armature copper losses. If we subtract the no load armature copper loss from the total input, we get constant losses. Please remember, this is the mathematical formula to get the constant losses during this Swinburne test. This is no load input and this is no load armature copper losses. Knowing the constant losses of the machine, its efficiency at any load can be determined. This is the advantages of Swinburne test. Let IL is the load current at which efficiency is required. Armature current is IA is equal to IL minus ISH according to KCL if machine is motoring. Then IL is equal to I plus ISH if the machine is generating. Then efficiency when running as motor is equal to motor input is equal to VL into IL. Here IL is missing. Armature current is equal to IA square RA at particular load. Then constant losses is equal to V efficiency when running as a motor. Then motor input is V. Okay. Constant losses WC, right? This is I0. Armature copper losses IA0. I0. Constant losses WC is equal to VI0 minus no load armature current, armature copper losses. Then total losses is equal to addition of this constant losses plus armature copper losses at no load. Then efficiency of the motor is equal to VI. This I is not same. This is at no load. This is during the no load time, and this is at which we want to find the efficiency, that particular load. And this is also same particular load current. And this is input power subtracted the total copper losses, and this is constant losses, and these copper losses at where we want to find the efficiency. And finally this totally belongs to output divided by input power, which will get efficiency of the motor. When the machine is acting as generator, output power is equal to VI. Armature copper losses, this is the armature current for generator action. Then constant losses is subtracted this armature copper losses from the no load input power. Then total losses is addition of armature copper losses and constant losses. Then efficiency of generator is equal to output by output plus losses. We know only in generator output parameters, and output parameters added with the total copper losses, which gives the efficiency of the generator. Then coming to the advantages and disadvantages of the swing bar test. This test is very convenient and economical, as it required very less power from supply to perform the test. Since constant losses are known, efficiency of swing bar test can be predetermined at any load. Then coming to the disadvantages of swing bar test, the iron losses is neglected, though there is change in iron loss from no load to full load due to armature reaction. We cannot be sure about this satisfactory commutation on loaded condition because the test is done on no load. We can't measure the temperature rise when the machine is loaded. Power losses can vary with the temperature. Last, in DC series motor, the swing bar test cannot be done to find its efficiency, as it is a no load test. These are the disadvantages of swing bar test. Now I will take some numerical problems to find the efficiency by using swing bar test. In this problem, yes, the problem number 1, for to calculate efficiency using swing bar test. A 220 volts DC shunt motor has armature and field resistance as 0.8 ohms and 200 ohms. During swing bar test, the current drawn from the supply is found to be 2.5 amperes. Estimate the efficiency of the machine when it is running as motor, drawing a line current of 40 amperes from the 220 volt supply, and when it is running as a generator, delivering a load current of 40 amperes at 220 volts. Please, all of you, note down this problem. I will explain how to solve, how to get the solution for the given problem. Please, all of you, note down. Yes, now we will enter into the solution for this problem. This problem belongs to Swinburne test. First, we have to find the constant losses. To get the constant losses, we have a formula: no load input power, which is equal to 2.5 amperes with this 220 volts. From this no load input power, we have to subtract no load armature copper losses. When it is acting as a motor, the no load armature current is equal to, means Ia naught is equal to, we know that I naught minus ISH. I naught is equal to 2.5 amperes. ISH is equal to, by using Ohm's law, V by RSH, where V is 220 volts, RSH is 200 ohms. 220 by 200, we will get ISH. This value subtracted from 2.5 amperes. With that, we will get Ia naught. Then this value whole square multiplied with 0.8 ohms will give armature copper losses at no load. After knowing the armature copper losses at no load, now we will find constant losses. WC is equal to input power 220 into 2.5 during no load minus I naught minus IHS whole square with RA will give constant losses. Later, we have to find the copper losses at particular load. The line current is 40 amperes. Then ISH is equal to 220 by 200, which is subtracted from the 40 amperes. We'll get armature current at 40 amperes of line current, which is squared and multiplied with 0.8 ohms will give armature copper losses for line current of 40 amperes. Now we get variable losses, armature copper losses and constant losses are calculated with this 2.5 amperes. Addition of these two will give the total copper losses. Now calculation of efficiency for motor. Input power 220 into 40 amperes minus total copper losses divided by 220 into 40 amperes will give the efficiency for this problem with the Swinburne test. Next, when it is running as a generator, delivering a load current of 40 amperes. Here, the IA naught will be addition during no load time and during load time. Like this, we have to calculate the efficiency for generator also. I explain how to calculate efficiency for motor, and you try with this data. What is the efficiency? How to calculate the efficiency of this particular problem for generator. And next, another problem. Two similar coupled machines of same rating. Sorry, that is Hopkinson test, not to be covered here. Yes, this is another problem belongs to Swinburne test. Please note down this example on your notebooks, and when running on no load, a 400 volts shunt motor takes 5 amperes. This 5 amperes is no load current, which is I naught. Armature resistance is 0.5 ohms, which is RA, and field resistance 200 ohms, RSH. Find the output of the motor as well as efficiency when running on full load and taking a current of 50 amperes. And also find the percentage change in speed from no load to full load. Then first we have to find the no load input power. For calculating no load input power, we have to consider the no load input current, which is 5 amperes. 400 volts is the input voltage, 5 amperes is the input current. Multiplication of those two will get 2000 watts, or 2 kilowatts is the input power. This input power goes to meet all kinds of no load losses. That is armature copper losses and constant losses. Now, our main aim is to find the constant losses by using this no load current. For that, first I have to calculate ISH by using Ohm's law. 400 by 200. 400 is the volts, 200 ohms the ohms. Then 2 amperes is the shunt field current. Then no load current from KCL, Kirchhoff current law for motor. Armature current is equal to line current minus shunt field current, which is equal to 3 amperes. Then no load armature copper losses is equal to, by I square R principle, 3 square into 0.5, which is nothing but 4.5 watts is the no load armature copper losses. Now, with this data, I can find constant losses, which is equal to 2000 watts is the input power, 4.5 watts is the no load armature copper losses. Subtracting this no load armature copper losses from the no load input power, the constant losses is equal to 1995.5 watts. Now this 5 amperes data is completed. This 5 amperes is only to find the constant losses. Now we will go for another given data in this numerical problem with line current 50 amperes. Now this is a line current. We already calculated shunt field current is 2 amperes, and armature current for this 50 amperes of line current is equal to 50 amperes is minus 2 amperes is equal to 48 amperes. Then armature carbon losses for line current 50 amperes is equal to I square R formula 48 square into 0.5, where 48 is the armature current for 50 amperes of line current and 0.5 is the armature resistance, which is equal to 1152 watts, or the armature copper losses for line current 50 amperes. Now armature copper losses are found and constant losses are already calculated, and these values are 1995.5 watts. Then total losses on full load is equal to addition of these two losses, means armature copper losses at 50 amperes of line current and constant losses, which gives total losses at this 50 amperes of line current. Then this addition of these two will give 3147.5 watts. Then input power we have to calculate. This input power at no load only. Now we are concentrating on the find the efficiency for 50 amperes of line current. The input power is equal to 50 amperes into 400, where 50 is the input line current and 400 volts is the input line voltage, which is equal to 20,000 watts. Then output power is equal to input power minus total losses, which is equal to 16,852.5 watts. Approximately it is equal to 16.8 kilowatts. Then full load efficiency of the motor is equal to output power divided by input power, where the output power is 16,852.5 divided by 20,000 is the input power, which is equal to 84.26%. Like this, we have to calculate step by step by using the Swinburne test data. Now, what is the percentage change from no load to full load? For that, this is a shunt motor. We have a formula for N2 by N1 is equal to EB2 by EB1 and pi 1 by pi 2. And here this is a shunt motor, the flux is remain constant. Then N2 by N1 is equal to EB2 by E1. Then N1 is already given, which is equal to this is not given. We have to find the percentage change in speed. Then N1 minus N2. N1 is the first speed during no load. N2 is the during 50 amperes of current. Then percentage change is equal to initial minus final divided by final speed. This is N1 minus N2 by N2, which will come from the EB1 minus EB2 divided by EB2 values. Then EB1 is nothing but back EMF during no load test. EB2 is the back EMF during load time. Then we have a formula, back EMF is equal to V minus IaRa. This is Ia during no load time. This is Ia during loaded time. Like this, we have calculated EB1 is 398.5 and EB2 is 37. Then EB1 is equal to 398.5 volts and EB2 is equal to 376 volts. Then differences between 398.5 minus 376 is equal to 22.5, which is divided by 376 volts, which gives the percentage change in speed from no load to full load is 5.98 times. And like this, you have to calculate this type of problems. I will take another numerical problem with the example in a test on a DC. The output power is 200 kilowatts at 250 volts. The following figures were obtained in Swinburne test when running light as motor at full speed. The line current was 36 amperes. The field current 12 amperes and the supply voltage is 250 volts. With the machine at rest, a potential difference of 6 volts produced a current of 400 amperes. though the armature circuit. Explain how these results may be utilized to obtain the efficiency of a generator at full load and half load. Neglect brush voltage drop. Now, with this given no load data, first we will find the constant losses. Okay. Then coming to the no load data, the armature current, which is equal to 36 amperes is the line current and 12 amperes is the shunt field current. Subtracting this and this, with this 12 amperes from 36 amperes, we will get armature current. You can see 36 minus 12 is equal to 25 amperes is armature current. Then RA is not directly given, which is given from the data in B. When the machine at rest, a potential difference of 6 volts produces a current of 400 amperes. Then voltage is 6 volts and current is 400 amperes. 6 divided by 400 is equal to 0.015 ohms is the armature resistance. Now armature copper losses during the no load is, no load armature current is 24 amperes and which is square times, and 0.015 is the armature resistance, which is equal to 8.64 watts is the armature copper losses. Then no load input is equal to total losses in the machine. Then 256 is the voltage and 36 amperes is the line current. 9000 watts is the no load input. Then subtracting the armature copper losses at no load from the no load input, we will get the constant losses. WC is equal to 9000 minus 8.64. This is not 800 or this is not 8000. This is only 8.64, means approximately 9 watts of power. Then we will get this constant losses is equal to 8991.4 watts. And this data comes during the swing burn test, and swing burn test will given already like this constant losses. Now in this problem is asking find the efficiency at full load and as well as at half full load, and that too in generators, not in motors. Now we will calculate this output power is 200 kilowatts. It is 200 kilowatts converted into watts. Then output current is equal to output power divided by voltage. Then output power divided by voltage is equal to 800 amperes is the output current. Then ISH is equal to 12 amperes. It is 12 amperes. Then full load armature current, IA is equal to 800 plus 12 amperes. Please remember, given data for motor and asking the efficiency at generator. Remember, in generator the armature current is equal to line current plus shunt field current. Then addition of these two currents will be 812 amperes. 800 is coming from output power divided by output voltage. Like this 800 amperes are coming here. Then full load armature current is equal to 800 amperes plus 12 amperes is equal to 812 amperes is the full load armature current. Now I have to calculate full load armature copper losses according to the principle of I square R is equal to, where IA is equal to 812 square into RA is 0.015, which is equal to 9890 watts. Then full load losses. Copper losses for this action is 9890 watts, and constant losses calculated by using swing burn test data. Addition of these two losses will give the full load copper losses, which is equal to 18,881 watts. Now simply substitute these values in the efficiency formula, and remember this is a full load efficiency. At full load, that's why we are using full power, which is nothing but 200 kilowatts, which is nothing but output power. Output power plus losses is equal to input power. Then output power plus losses are, total losses are 18,881. Then in multiplied with 100 will give percentage efficiency. By using this data, we will get 91.4 percentage of efficiency of generator with this data. Again, for the same generator is asking what is the efficiency during half load time. Half load means this is a 200 kilowatts is a full load, then half load is equal to 200 by 2 is equal to 100 kilowatts. Now the 100 kilowatts are converted into watts. Then output current is equal to 100 kilowatts divided by 250, which is equal to 400 amperes. Otherwise, you already know the 800 amperes is the full load current, which is divided by 2 will give 400 amperes is the half full load current. Then again the steps are repeated. We have to calculate armature current for half full load, which is equal to 400 amperes plus shunt field current. Why I am adding here is asking efficiency generator at off load. Off load also it is asking for generator only. That's why I'm adding these two by KCL law. I'm getting 412 amperes. Then after that I will calculate these armature copper losses during off full load time. Then Ia square Ra will give the off full load armature copper losses. This is off full load armature current squared with the armature resistance 0.015, which gives 2546 watts. Please remember, armature copper losses full load is 9890 watts, and armature copper losses off full load is nothing but not half of this 9890 by 2, which is wrong. You have to calculate like this. 2546 is the armature copper losses for off load time. Then addition of this armature copper losses at offload and constant losses. You can see these constant losses 2546 for offload and constant losses. These losses are armature copper losses during the off load is not same with the full load, and you can see this is a constant losses half full load time, and constant losses at full load time is same, means the constant losses are independent of load. You have to keep this in your mind. Constant losses are independent of load. Then addition of these two losses will give total losses. The total losses are coming during the off load condition is 11,537 watts. Then efficiency is equal to output power. Output power at off load is 100 kilowatts, and total losses is 11,537 is added to the output power, which gives 111.537 kilowatts. Then 100 divided by 111.537 will give 89.6 percentage. If it is multiplied with 100, then percentage efficiency at off full load is 89.6 percentage. Then you can see here full load efficiency is more than half full load efficiency. Like this, we can calculate with this swing burn test data efficiency at any desired load. We are not actually we have put 800 amperes of load and 400 amperes of load during full load and half full load, but we are calculating efficiency at full load and half full load, and this swing burn test will help like this to calculate full load and half full load efficiencies. Thank you for watching my videos, and in this video lesson I explain what is swing burn test and what are the advantages of swing burn test, and how to solve some numerical problems on swing burn test. I briefly explain this swing burn test is not suitable for series motors. Why? Because series this is no load test. We cannot run this DC series generator motor without load. That's why this is not suitable for series motors, and it is suitable for only shunt motors and compound motors. This swing burn test will give only the no load losses. The total power is taken during this test is to meet iron losses in the core, friction and windage losses, armature copper losses only. With this data, we can calculate the efficiency for motor as well as for generator. Thank you.